Welcome to another Premiere Pro tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to have a look at a really cool function within Premiere Pro which basically enables us to edit our footage as though we were recording it live with a vision mixer. So it's a really useful technique for when you're doing things like live recordings of concerts or plays, when you're doing TV shows or things like music videos. And it'll all become clear and apparent as we go along. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to click New Project in Premiere Pro and I'll call it Multicam Test and I'll click OK. I'm going to check that we're going to go down to AVC HD, 1080p and 1080p 25. And for our sequence, I'm going to call this Cameras and click OK. Alright, now we're going to get our footage in. Now, key to this effect is keeping organized. So here on my desktop I've got a folder. You can see that I've got an audio folder, camera 1, camera 2 and camera 3. If I look into camera 1, you can see that I've got Act 1 and Act 2, and the footage that we're going to be having a look at is the recording of Fame that was recently done at the college, and that's why we've got Act 1 and Act 2. Now why we have to keep really organised is because we have a lot of footage. The performance went for about 2.5–3 hours, so within the 3 cameras, Act 1 and 2, we've got about 18 hours worth of footage, so we need to keep it organised. So I've split it up into Act 1 and Act 2. Okay, now we're going to get it into Premiere. So over in Premiere, I'm going to click this button down here, which is New Bin, and I'm going to call this one Camera 1. I'll click a new folder, I'll call this Act 1, and we'll only deal with Act 1 at the moment. So I'm going to put Act 1 into the Camera 1 folder, and over here on the folder on the desktop, I'll drag all the video files, the MTS files, from Act 1 into Act 1. Okay, I'm going to go through exactly the same process for the next 2 cameras. So, camera 2, Act 1, drag it into camera 2 folder, go down camera 2, Act 1, get the video files, drag those into Act 1. Okay, and we'll do the same for camera 3. Okay, now I'm going to create another folder called Audio. And under our audio folder on the desktop, I have all these files, but I'm just going to use Act 1 rough, and it's basically the audio that came straight out of the mixer in the bio box, so it's good high quality audio. Okay, so now we've got our footage into Premiere. Let's start putting it together. So we'll go down camera 1 and we'll grab all 3 files from Act 1 and we'll put them onto video 1, just so we've got camera 1 aligned with video 1. Camera 2, now what we're going to do with this camera is we're going to put it onto video 2, directly above the first camera. Camera 3, I'll put that onto video 3. Okay, so this is the beginnings of setting up the multi-camera sequence where we've got all 3 files on top of each other. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sync up the audio of the 3 cameras. Okay, this is crucial so that all of our videos in sync and it'll all work well. Alright, so to do that, we're going to toggle this switch next to audio 1, and we'll do the same for audio 2 and audio 3. Okay, so what that enables us to do is to actually see the waveform or the audio waveform of each of our cameras. Okay, so it's going to let us sync them up. Now I can see already, and we'll go over here, it seems to be a peak in the audio. We'll just zoom in there a little bit. You can already see that camera 2 and camera 3, if we're looking at this section here, seem to be already pretty well aligned, which is great. Camera 1 doesn't look too bad either, but it does look slightly out there. Okay, so we're going to have a bit more of a look at camera 1. So I'll highlight all the files in camera 1, and we'll go and have a look at some of the audio. Okay, here seems to be a good spot. So we'll zoom in nice and close, and we're just going to move that over until it's pretty well aligned. Okay, I'm just going to look at some other points just to make sure that we have got the right part. Okay, that looks good as well. So you can see that I'm just visually matching up the audio. I haven't got it playing. I don't really need to listen to it. But obviously you can see that it's kind of crucial to have audio on all of your video tracks. Okay, that's looking pretty good. We can continue. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another sequence. So I'll go File, New, Sequence. And we'll call this sequence Multicam. And click OK. Alright, now what we need to do is we need to get this whole sequence into Multicam 1. So the way I'll do that, I'll come over here to our project, and I'll grab our cameras sequence, which is exactly this one here, and I'm just going to drag it into Multicam. Okay, and what that is that's all of our 3 cameras, but it's all in one track. Okay, so that's how we're going to do this multi-camera. Alright, I'm going to make sure it's selected, then I'll go up to Clip, Multi-Camera, Enable. Okay, so that's now told Premiere that we want to use this as a multi-camera sequence. Okay, now for the fun stuff. I'm going to go up to Window, Multi-Camera Monitor. Okay, now you can see all of our 3 cameras here, and over on the right is what's currently selected. So this will be our recorded window. Okay. Now, in order to do the multi-camera editing, I'm going to just scroll along a little bit. And then I'm going to press record and play. And now, anytime that I click into a window, it will select that camera. Okay, but the beautiful part of this is if I press stop and then I close this window, you can see that every single cut that I just made has been recorded by Premiere. Okay, so it's just as if we were there working on it live. But it does enable us to do some other things as well. For instance, say this cut here, I didn't really want that camera. Okay, I can just right click on it, go multi-camera, and I can choose a different camera. Camera 2, camera 1. Oh, didn't want to choose that. We'll go camera 2. Okay, I can also edit this kind of normally. I can grab the razor tool, make a cut, and then I can choose a different camera. Okay, so doing this enables us to have really fine control that you can have in post-production editing, but the initial pass of the edit can be done as though you were live there on the spot. Okay, so that's really the beauty of this this way of working. So I'll just go back to the multi-camera monitor again, just so you can see that. Record, play. We're doing our cuts, Premiere's recording them. I hit stop, close the window, and all of our cuts are done. Okay, that easy. Okay, and that's the basics of multi-camera editing.